Welcome to Public House, intimate conversations with people making a difference in the Hudson Valley. And now from Paula's Public House in Poughkeepsie, here's Paula Young.
Hello everyone and welcome to Public House. Today I am very pleased to introduce the mayor of the city of Poughkeepsie, New York, Mr. Rob Rolison. Welcome, Rob.
Hey,
welcome
Paula.
to Public House.
Yeah, really happy to be here.
Very happy
and happy to be with you too.
I am very delighted. Now, you were a police officer. You are a volunteer firefighter, I believe still. You went into politics and became the chairman of the county legislature.
Yeah, I started my political career in 2003.
Okay.
And then in 2000, as a legislator, and then in 2010 I was elected as the chairman for the next 6 years.
And then you said to yourself, Poughkeepsie, 32,000 people, it's a city on the Hudson, I'm all about the Hudson Valley, I want to run for mayor.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of these things where in 2014, then going into 2015, I always knew that political life should have a shelf life. It's not a job forever. And in the legislature, where I had started as a legislator, kind of rose through the ranks, committee chair, assistant minority leader, and then becoming the chairman, I had a really good run, and I felt it was time to give it up because I either was going to get out of elected life or do something different, but also you need to give others the chance to do that job as well. So I decided that I wasn't going to run. I talked to my wife about Lori, and then people started to approach me and talk to me about, geez, you ought to consider running, for mayor now in 2015, and ultimately made the decision to do that.
And won.
And yeah, announced in February of 2015 and campaigned every single day, including election night, before the polls closed. And I think that you can say, hard work paid off for that campaign.
The city of Poughkeepsie, 32,000 people, as I mentioned, has the same issues as many of the river towns in New York and Westchester and going up, in as much that the rivers were always considered to be not good, especially in the 20s and 30s and 40s, and it was all industrial.
Right.
So the houses were sold, and a lot of urban housing became HUD housing, and people did not have the pride in the Hudson River towns. Poughkeepsie certainly fell into disrepair. And now I am right outside. I'm in the town, you're in the city. I see a burgeoning new life. I see all sorts of things. So tell me about the exciting things you're bringing and your challenges.
Well, you talked about how the river towns suffered from the loss of industry along the Hudson. And one of the things also too, and it was sort of one of these things, one thing led to another, but the city became one of the country's quote unquote model cities. Millions of dollars poured into the city of Poughkeepsie to transform it. And unfortunately what that really meant was many of those structures and many of those neighborhoods in and around the river were demolished and other types of structures were built. Now, if we could change that and go back to the way it looked, we would, but we can't. Some communities didn't have as much as that urban renewal model cities money, and many of the structures stayed. Old factory buildings have been reused and repurposed in many communities.
I see the underwear factory is becoming housing.
Right, which it is. And so imagine 100 of those types of structures still in the city of Poughkeepsie, the underwear factory type of building. And they were everywhere because, the city had a huge manufacturing base at one point in time. So we know that, right? And that we can't change that. So we're supportive of all these initiatives, such as Hudson River Housing's underwear factory and other things that are going on in other pockets of the city. Whether it's small manufacturing on the north side that's taking place, along with some of the larger companies like EFCO, which is a major employer. You have the hospitals, the Minnesota Regional, which is north of our border, but the big, $500 million expansion of Vassar Brothers Medical Center.
I understand.
It's such a big thing.
We can't rely anymore on large corporations. I think those anchor businesses no longer, will be playing the role. I think it's becoming more to be a humanist and more humanistically viewed. So and quickly, because I don't have all the time in the world, I wish I did. We could talk all day.
Because I could sit here all day and talk about the city, as you know.
In your vision, how do you see it going? Because as I see it, the timeline, it seems to be 5 years at the kind of at the long point before
Yeah.
really we become a blossom that opens up.
No doubt. So we know this. People are moving back to cities. That's going on nationally.
Everywhere, yes.
Because people want to be in cities for all the things that are going on in
Exactly.
cities. You know, the suburbanization has really stopped in many,
Exactly.
in many areas,
And
which is
we
a good thing
have
for
the
the city.
Bardavon, we have the
We do.
Civic Center, we
Kitty and
have
Hackett,
history.
you go right on down
Exactly.
the line of all the cultural institutions. So people are coming back to the cities. They want that for all the right reasons. The location to the train station, the river, 2 bridges, Mid-Hudson Bridge, the walkway,
The walkway.
so many things that are there to offer, but also be able to get on the train and be in New York in an hour and 20 minutes.
It's wonderful.
So we really have all of that. And plus, we've got the bones, we've got the architecture, we have got all the things that a city needs to thrive.
Absolutely.
So it's our responsibility in city government to help make that happen, to be supportive, and let the people just come in, establish homes here and businesses here, but also too, helping the people that live here expand their businesses, have access to jobs for our children that are growing up and want to work when
Yes.
it becomes time for them to work. And so and all these things work in conjunction. That's the other thing I think is so important, Paula, is that everything that you do or don't do has a consequence
Oh,
down the road.
absolutely, absolutely.
And that's where we have to
quickly,
focus.
because I have to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Your father,
Yes.
Senator.
J.R. Rolison.
Public service, obviously. You're the guy that runs into the fire. You're the guy that stops the beating as a police officer. Obviously, many things move your heart. The one thing that makes your heart beat when you wake up in the morning, what is that?
Well, going into work and always thinking that, I was elected to do something, to make a difference, to try to solve challenges, bringing people together to find solutions that sometimes are very difficult.
Absolutely.
And to start the dialogue. I mean, we can't solve every problem. And even if we're on both sides of the equation, we got to get someplace in the middle to
Absolutely.
get something done. And that, to me, is the most important thing, is getting something done.
So not just leaving it cleaner than you found it, but actually making a difference so it stays clean.
Right. And when you know that you have left that position, wherever you may be in life, that you left it a better place than you found it.
Oh, thank you so much, Rob.
Oh, Paul, thank
again,
you.
We should do this again.
We should.
I just
Yeah.
could talk to you all day.
Yeah, and I enjoy talking about the city, because the more people know about how great this city is, the better it becomes.
I totally agree. Thank you so
Thank
much for
You're
being in my
welcome.
chair. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.